Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you like the look that I have right now, check out my last video. It is a review on the Jaclyn Hill palette. Everything on my eyes is from the Jaclyn Hill palette, but today's video has nothing to do with that. Today's video, we are going to be comparing and contrasting the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Kit right here and the NYX contour kit right here. I did go ahead and do half of my face with one, half of my face with the other, and I've got to say they are so similar, you guys. If you don't want to spend quite as much money on the Kat Von D, spend a little bit less on the NYX and you're not going to be disappointed. The pigment is there. Everything is so similar. Actually, in the NYX contour kit, you get more shadows. So let's go ahead and start comparing them. Alright, so first I'm going to talk about the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Now this is the original one. The new one has raised letters up here and all of the pans on the inside are interchangeable. So if there's certain colors that you use more than others, you can just go ahead and buy the single pan, which I really enjoy. I love the idea of that because not everyone's going to use every single shade in this. So you want to be able to just repurchase the shades that you use and fill up your kit. You do get a nice giant mirror in here. And then you have 6 shades. The top ones are highlights that you use underneath your eyes or wherever it is that you're using concealer and you want to set your concealer with those. And the bottom are all bronze or contour shades. Right up here we have a very light cream shade. This is really good for lighter skin tones if you want to lighten up the bottom of your eyes. Sometimes a yellow can be way too intense, so this is perfect for that. But this is also really good if you want to clean up anything down here. Afterwards, if you've noticed that your bronzer is looking a little bit crazy and you need something to clean that up, you can go ahead and use this shade. Right over here in the middle, as you can see, I have hit pan. That is the yellow shade. That one is called Lyric, and that is probably everyone's most favorite color because it is that banana shade. This will really sit under your eyes and brighten them. The yellow really does help to cancel out any dullness underneath your eyes, and it really does brighten them up. But a yellow like this is not for everyone. So if you've got very light skin, you're not going to like this. If you've got very dark skin, I feel like you wouldn't like this as well. You like this one more if you've got darker skin because it is more of that peach undertone. This is also, though, a very good color to use, again, to clean up under here if you want a little bit more of a tight line right there. Down here, we have the color Subconscious, and this is more of a cool toned bronzing shade. In the middle here is Shadow Play, and this one is a very warm toned bronzer, and then over here Somber, a much deeper shade. So if you're looking for something very versatile, a lot of different skin tones can use this, and you can use each and every one of the shades in a different way. What I'll do is use this one right here, which is the warmer brown, which is what I did today, and I'll use that as a bronzer. If you're looking for a very subtle way to contour your cheeks, I would recommend using this one right here because it is cool tone, so it looks very shadowy. Like natural shadows in your skin from the lights, so you don't have to worry about this one looking too harsh. This one can look too harsh because it is so dark, so just make sure to blend that out very well and you're not going to have a problem with it. But I really do like this palette. You do get a lot of pigment, you get a lot of color, and you do get that giant mirror, which I think is great. Over here we have the NYX contour kit, which looks like this. For this one you do get 8 shades total, whereas the Kat Von D you only get 6. This one also does not have a mirror on it, so you're not paying for that. This guy right here broke like the day that I bought the palette, so honestly I don't remember what it was. I'm pretty sure it's an actual highlight meant to highlight your cheekbones, but I don't remember. I never got to use it anyways because it broke so early on me. This guy right here is kind of similar to that first shade in the Kat Von D palette, this one right here, which is like a very creamy undertoned shade. You can again use this for lighter skin tones to set underneath your eyes. You can also use it to clean up your contour. You also get the yellow shade, the yellow banana shade, which I did use underneath my eyes today. And then this one over here, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about this. I've never used it. That's how it looks. You can barely see it. I think it's, again, for the darker skin tones. I obviously have a little bit lighter skin tone, so I don't really use that shade. Then on the bottom, you do have 4 different bronzer or contour shades. Got a very warm brown right here, which is what I did use today in the big 3, as you can see. Over here, we have a cooler toned but darker color. Right here you have a cool toned lighter brown and then a darker brown right here. This is the normal shade that I use when I want to bronze up my face. And if I'm looking for a very subtle contour, I'll go ahead and go with this guy because it's a lighter cool toned brown. If I'm a little bit more tan, I can use this one, but for the most part I stick with this guy. Alright, so I do already have on my foundation and my concealer. What I'm going to do is set this side of my face, the left side, with the Kat Von D contour palette, and I'm going to set this side, the right side, with the NYX contour palette. So of course, I have a brush I'll be using. I'm going to wipe it off in between every single time. Going into the Kat Von D shade, the middle color right here, and go ahead and just set underneath my eye right here. I do notice some fallout with this. When I'm pressing it into my skin, there is stuff that flies off. That's pretty normal though. Doesn't really bother me, but if you are somebody who doesn't like that, then definitely go in with a lighter hand at the beginning and build up as you need. With the NYX contour kit, I'm going to grab the same yellow kind of shade. I did wipe off my brush and go ahead and set underneath this side with this color. Alright, so that is the two shades on. I'm going to set the entire T-zone today with just one of the kits, only because I don't really see how I'm going to just do half and half. So I'm going to go ahead and use the NYX kit because I want, the more affordable one, to see how that one lasts throughout the day. I do set my entire nose if I want my foundation to last a lot longer, just because the first place that foundation lifts for me is my nose. So I like to have as much coverage as I can there. That is both of them done. As you can see, they both are yellow. They both look very, very yellow. They're setting very nicely. I do notice some creasing on both sides. I find that the NYX side does have a little bit more coverage. I can still see some dark circles right here peeking through on this side of my face, but it's not too bad, so it's nothing that I would be really very concerned over. I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face with my MAC powder. This is NC30. Alright, so now we can go ahead and start contouring this face up because I am looking very one-dimensional and I do not like looking like that. So I like to use a very big fluffy brush when I am contouring. Both of the palettes have a very similar toned shade, which is a warm undertone shade. So from the Kat Von D palette, I am going to use this middle shade right here. And just so I can compare and contrast here, they're not exactly the same. Like, if anything, these three are very similar. And then this one right here, which is the super warm one on the NYX palette, is not exactly in this one. But I am going to go ahead and use this middle shade right here, which is called Shadow Play. As far as the Kat Von D palette goes, this one is more of the warm toned. So I'm going to go ahead and start to warm up my face here. You can see that it gives you a very nice, like a sun-kissed look. Nothing too much. Anything that's harsh that you see right here, we can blend out. So I will be doing that in just a moment. I do like to bronze in the big three. So right up here, bring it down to the apples of my cheeks, and then down here, just so that it looks nice and blended, nice and bronzed all over. So that is half of my face bronze. You can see how it adds a lot more dimension. You don't look so just one-toned and kind of like blah. It really adds something to your face, really wakes you up, makes you look a little bit more bronzed. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe off this side of my brush. And then we're going to go into the NYX contour kit. Like I said, I am going to be taking the warmer tone right here. This one is definitely a lot more warm toned than the Kat Von D palette has. But I really like this one for bronzing up my face. And you don't need a lot, so don't go super heavy with your brush in here. You can see this one's got a lot more pigment. Like when I first put it on, you saw that big splotch right there. So I am going to have to blend that out. But for the most part, these are very, very similar. Excuse my hairband coming off here. So that is both of my face set underneath with the highlight shades. I have bronzed in the 3. And this is what both of the sides of my face look like. They are very, very similar. If I'm looking at them in person, honestly, I really cannot tell a difference. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and grab the exact same brush that I used to set all of my concealer. And I'm just going to go ahead and start to lightly pat around. So that way it doesn't look so harsh in between wherever you bronzed and then your highlighted points right here. You always want to do this, just same kind of concept like when you're blending out your foundation. You want everything to blend together as seamlessly as possible, and you don't want any kind of harsh lines. So always go back and just kind of brush everything together. You can also use, which is a really good idea, a big duo fiber brush and just kind of blend all of those edges together. So that is my face with half of it done with Kat Von D and the other half done with the NYX Contour Kit. What I'm going to do now is jump off camera, finish up the entire rest of my face, and then I will come back and let you know exactly what my thoughts are, and you can see how these palettes really compare to each other with a full face done. I really did only use half of my face with the Shade and Light palette, which is this half right over here, my left side, and this side of my face I did use the NYX Contour Kit. So let me ask you and just be honest with me, can you tell a difference? Do they look very, very different? I don't think so. When I was using them, I was very surprised in the quality of both being pretty similar. The Kat Von D are a little bit velvety, so they blend out a little bit better. The NYX one is a little bit more powdery, but you know what? There's really no difference when you're looking at them in person. The biggest difference is if you're touching them side by side, you realize the formulas are definitely not the same, but the pigment and the color are so similar, you guys, that you really don't need both palettes. What I like about the NYX palette is that you do get more color. You know, you do get 8 shadows instead of the 6 in the Kat Von D. But if you're not going to use all of those shades, it's really kind of pointless having the extras. So the next one is really, really good for people who do makeup like professionally, if you're a freelance artist or whatever, and you want to have a lot more color range. I would definitely recommend picking up the NYX one. But you know what? Looking at my face on camera, looking at my face in person, and when I was doing my face, of course, by myself, I did not notice much of a difference at all between these two palettes. So you can, like I said, go ahead and save a couple dollars and just pick up the NYX Contour Kit, and I promise you're going to be very, very happy with it. You can do so many things with this, and honestly, it's pretty much the exact same thing as the Kat Von D palette, but you do get a couple more shades and it is less expensive. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!